Okay, hey guys, welcome to the first live stream for CheshireFisher, or as I'm going to be calling the channel now, CF Carping. I'll cover it again. I mean, I know there's no one watching yet, but for anyone that's watching back later on, CheshireFisher for me, looking back in hindsight, was a bit too area specific. I don't just want to fish Cheshire. I don't want people who are looking for the channel to just see CheshireFisher and think, well, there's nothing for me, because I'll be fishing all over France, all over this country as well. So, and I wanted people to know it was a carping channel as well, not just general fishing. So, yeah, that's where we are, CF Carping now rather than CheshireFisher. Welcome guys, I can see we've got 3 people on. I don't know who you are yet. I've had no notifications to tell me who you are. I'm sure we'll get some joy at some stage, some notifications through at some stage. But yeah, so CF Carping, the first live stream from Horseshoe. I'm here till about 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. Yeah, this is my 4th session on here now. I'm sure you've seen the blogs. I'm sure you've seen what what I've been up to. I'm sure you've seen me fishing here with me dad, Steve, and with Ryan before now. None of us have managed to winkle anything out yet. I haven't had anything yet, but there's a lot more movement here today. Yeah, I've got my wife supporting me, fantastic, and Mr. Vigor, I'll come back to you in a minute. It's yeah, your question earlier on, I'll cover that in a minute, and then I'll come round and find you. It's good to see I've got my wife supporting me. At least I've got Paula come to make sure I'm doing okay. I'm not 100% convinced she's not just checking up on me to make sure I'm actually at the lake and not at the pub. But hey, we'll see where it goes. Right, seems though Mr. Vigor's on here. Steve, aka the Morphine Kid. Hope you're feeling okay, mate. I really do. I know you've had a few issues. I won't go into them here. Anyone that knows you will have seen it on Facebook. But best wishes sending out to you, mate, and hopefully you feel good. You feel better soon, because obviously no one wants to see you suffering. Or maybe a little bit after your comment. Steve asked me earlier on, when are you going to give up and take up crochet? I said earlier on I'll be finishing here about 9 in the morning, so I'm guessing I'm going to give up and take up crochet about 9:05. I did mention to Steve that I already crochet on the bank. It chills me out so I can do my cross stitch. You want to see CheshireFisher, not this CF imposter? Well, the CF is CheshireFisher, mate, so I'm still here, and yeah, I'm not going anywhere anytime soon, but as I said, I want it to be carping orientated. I don't want it to be geographically linked just to Cheshire. Paul Woolley asked me earlier on, what's the stock in here? Right, well, I'm fishing the Carp Society's Horseshoe Lake. It's a 62-acre lake, and I think there's about 800 to 1,000 fish in here. They had a fantastic head of old, beautiful, scaly fish, absolutely stunning fish. But a while back they had a bit of a fish kill, which wiped out a lot of the old stock. So they restocked it. They put a lot of stockies in, and them fish now are up into their 20s. There's I think the average stamp of fish in here is about £20, and they go up into the 30s. They did have a 40 in here. I don't believe it's in here anymore, but yeah. So there's a lot of fish in here. It's not a runs water by any stretch of the imagination. I'm pretty sure anyone that has fished here will tell you that. By the same token, it's not a 100-acre, really low-stocked lake. So if you can find the fish, if you can get amongst them, you could be in for a good hit, and a lot of people do. I believe there's a guy here last weekend, weekend before, had 11 fish. I mean, they've just not been coming out all winter. He drops on in between the beasts from the east, and he had 11 fish. There was a lad, Chris, I was speaking to, fishing across the way when I arrived. He had 3 fish over the last 48 hours. So they are starting to come out. Paul has dropped on. He's a couple of swims down from me. Had the same thought as me, really. There was a group of guys, 8 or 9 guys fishing on Winter Bay over the last 48 hours. So 3 rods each. So we're probably looking at 27 lines going into there, and I think there's only 1 other guy on Summer Bay. So 3 lines in Summer Bay, 27 lines in Winter Bay. First 24 hours, all the fish that were caught came out, and then the second 24 hours, nothing. So I've pitched up on Boat Point, hoping that the reason there's no fish coming out of Winter Bay is they've moved on. Paul's thought the same. He's pitched up on the corner of Summer Bay. So Paul, you asked what stock are in there. Hopefully that covers that for you. And Larry Wilson, all the way from the US of A. Simply any luck? No. It's the simple answer. Nothing yet, but I'm hoping we have a few more out. Steve, I love you too. Being as this a large water, is your campaign concentrating on the same areas, or do you vary the sessions, mate? I don't. Cracking question, Steve. Thank you. It gives me something to talk about rather than me just waffling on absolute nonsense. It's a big. There's 62 acres, 75 swims, but I don't know the place. I don't know it at all. So what I haven't fished the same swim twice yet. I'm going to arrive at the lake each time, have a look at it, keep an eye on Facebook. Yeah, keep an eye on Facebook, see where they're coming out. I'll get slowly but surely getting to know a few people. So as the network builds up, I'll have more of a chance to chat to people and find out where they're coming out from. So I'll be assessing the situation every time I come up. I guess it's very much location on a water this size. Once you've found them, you get on them and cast to them. It's not like a 2 acre place where you can wait for them to find you. Yeah, so hopefully that answers. I'm not going to focus on Summer Bay, I'm not going to focus on Winter Bay, I'm not going to pick a handful of swims and go for them. I'm going to focus on the lake. I'm going to be here probably 2 or 3 times a month, if not more. Paula, if you're still listening, I may move down here and do 4 or 5 weeks at a time. Not mentioned that to her yet, so let's see what sort of reaction that gets. But yeah, I'm going to focus on the whole place and just see what works best for me. If I find that I'm getting more fish in one area than the other, then I might well sort of focus on that. But for the time being, I'm going to keep an open mind and look at the whole water. Right, plans for the year. What we're going to do as a channel. I don't intend to talk about this session much because I'm filming a vlog for this, so probably late tomorrow, more likely Friday. I'll be editing and then publishing the vlog for this, so I don't want to go over that too much. Go on, little one I'm watching. Thanks, Dad. It's unusual to have you commenting on Facebook and not being here fishing with me, but I think you said the 18th is the next time you're back on, so I'll be on then fishing with the old man. I think I didn't see who it was, sorry, but I think I saw what bait and rigs are you using. Again, I'm not going to go too much into what where, and how, but suffice to say I'm on single high-vis pink pop-ups on choddies on all 3 rods. Thanks, Paul, and my bags are packed already. Well, I think that will be unnecessary because I've already got my fishing kit here, but I might pop back one day and get them. So yeah, plans for the year. I'm going to be here 3 or 4 times a week, 2 or 3 times a month, which I'll vlog constantly. So my intention is to have at least 1 vlog up a week, if not 2. I want to do a few tackle reviews. Sorry, a goose just cleared my lines at about Mach 4. I thought it was going to wipe out all 3 of my rods. Tackle reviews as I get new bits and bobs, and I want to do a few commercials as well. I'm a stay-at-home dad. I look after my boy most of the time. His nan's kind enough to have him on a Wednesday, so I can come away and get the fishing done on a Wednesday, and occasionally I manage to escape for a few more days. But for the time being, whilst he's not at nursery, it's just going to be Wednesdays, Thursdays fishing. When he goes to the nursery, I'm hoping to do 2 sessions a week, so I can get twice as much up for you. Rob Clinton, cheers for that. I'll definitely give method feeders a try when the temperatures warm up a bit. I've just bought some Shimano TX2s, the 13-foot intensity, so I've got some rods now with a bit of backbone for knocking the baits out to distance. But yeah, it'd be perfect for the method as well. Great for knocking a method feeder out. You don't have to worry about damaging the lighter rods. So yeah, I've got commercials, I've got some tackle reviews I want to do, and I've got this place. I think I'm probably going to be on here for a year. I think for the sake of the channel, I'll probably move my campaign water year on year to somewhere different, so I'm not doing the same thing over and over again. Gives you guys something. I was going to say something interesting to watch for a second there, but who knows whether it'll be interesting or not, but it'll certainly be something different. So I'm on here until January next year, and then I'll look at moving on. Rob, I used it in winter too, works all year round. Ah, superb. Right, well, I haven't brought my any pellets or my method feeder with me this time, but I'll certainly dig them out of me the cupboard at home and chuck them in my tackle bag for give them a try next time. Cheers for that, it's appreciated. Where was I? Yeah, so I'll be moving on to a different campaign water in January next year. Hopefully I will have broken the duck on here by that stage. Fingers crossed I'll be able to get a few fish out before then. 30 from here is my target this year. I've never... Paul Woolley, I don't know if you're watching, mate, but he's very quiet if he is. I'm sure he'll attest I'm absolutely useless at catching 20s. I don't do too bad catching fish on the whole, but I very rarely get into the bigger ones. So to get a few 20s out of here and maybe a 30 this year would be an absolute dream. Yeah, so that's my target for here. One of the 30s, one of the originals would be an absolute dream. Hopefully I get to show you them on camera at some stage, but yeah, that's my campaign this year, and then moving on next year. I don't know where, so if anyone's got any suggestions for campaign waters within sort of, I mean, this is 2.5 hours, 2.5 hours from Cheshire. I don't really want to be travelling too much further than that, because it makes it a real bind for a 24-hour session. It's far enough, I think 2.5 hours. I've got a couple of competitions coming up. I've got the Forces, you've probably seen from my hoodies, I wear them just about every time. I've got the Forces Carp Classic, which we fished in Abbey the last 2 years. My dad's decided he doesn't want to travel to France anymore, or certainly not for these sessions that are coming up. But the Forces Carp Classic are running a 4-day competition on Horseshoe this year. Part of the reason why we dropped on and got the annual permit. So we've got that in end of June, I think it's end of June, early July, and I've just heard that we managed to secure a place for the 10th anniversary Forces Carp Classic out in Abbey Lakes in France. So I'll be fishing that with a mate of mine, a lad I met out at the Forces Carp Classic in Abbey last year. Of course, I'll be taking my cameras with me, so I'll vlog them so you can see exactly how well everyone else is doing and what I'm not catching. Fingers crossed I'll have a couple. I fished the last 2. We both blanked last year. I mean, it's not unusual on herring, but we both blanked last year. The year before, the old man picked a few carp out. Some nice ones, if I remember. Please comment, Dad, if you can remember the size of them. Did you get a 40? I don't know, certainly a 30. And I had and a few backup 20s, and I had 3 cats to 66, I think the biggest one was, which was fantastic. Not what we were fishing for, but it was nice to pull the cats out. Right, commercials, I mentioned I'll be fishing them as well. Hopefully when the boy goes to the nursery I'll be fishing a commercial on a Monday and then a campaign on a Wednesday, but we'll see how that goes. 42.7, thank you very much. I knew it was I had a feeling you'd had a 40. Yeah, so the commercials, I've already fished Commonwood, I fished Marchamley, I'll be doing Cool Acres later on in the year. I've got Meermore, possibly Baden Hall, however you want to pronounce it, from around Cheshire. I'll definitely be doing Linear. I'm going down to fish the Quarry with Matt Crouch next month, I think that is. He was the winner of the competition for RW Carp Baits, so I'm going down there with Ryan from RW Carp Baits to give Matt his prize, and we're going to fish down there for a couple of days with him in I think it's Kent. So that's coming up very shortly. But if there's any other commercials you think are particularly fishable, well worth doing for a 24-hour session to get a few fish on, let me know. Again, I don't mind travelling. For the commercials, don't mind travelling a little bit further if the water's worth it, because it's only going to be a one-off hit. Maybe I might go back for a second time if it's worth it. So, other ones I want to have a look at. Ryan, there's a message appeared, but it's been retracted, mate. If you want to put it up, it'd be appreciated. Yeah, certainly want to have a look at Todber. Probably go down to have a look at Broadlands. Like I said, I already mentioned I'll be doing Linear. So yeah, any other suggestions, please feel free. As I mentioned to a couple of you at the beginning. Cheers, cheers, Ryan. As I mentioned right at the beginning, before most of you were on, Steve, are non-angling visitors allowed on the lake, mate? On this one, yes, but you have to be a Carp Society member. I think that's about 25 quid. I don't know if they do a reduced membership rate for... sorry, I thought it's getting cold here now. I don't know if they do a reduced membership, society membership for non-anglers, but yeah, as far as I know, they don't charge for you to be on here if you're not fishing, but you have to have a Carp Society membership. If you want to come down and join us, mate, let me know. We'll get something sorted out. Yeah, cheers, Ryan. Steve's well worth it, mate. You get yourself down here. Obviously, Ryan was here for 48 hours with me a fortnight ago. Sorry about that, guys. Lost connection. It's always going to be a problem. Sat on the side of the lake like this. Yeah, had a seizure. I very nearly did when it all went greyed out. Yeah, I don't know how much you heard. I was saying, Ryan put on there, it's worth getting down here, Steve. It certainly is, mate. It certainly is. It's the middle. Well, it should be spring. Technically spring. It still feels like the middle of winter. The banks are all muddy. The trees haven't started budding up yet, but it still looks carpy as hell. It's a beautiful place to spend your time. So if you haven't been down here, if you want to have a run down here, give me a private message, me, mate. We'll sort something out. I know it's not going to happen the next couple of days, but we maybe when it starts to get a bit warmer, we can look at getting you down here. Yeah, as I was going to say, when I started mentioning the rebranding early doors, before there was really anyone on here. I think it was only Steve and Paula, maybe one other. But yeah, CheshireFisher I'm going to rebrand to be CF Carping, because I don't want it to be geographically specific, and I want people to know that it's about carping, not about any other sort of fishing. Over the next week or so, I'll probably change the name of the channel to reflect that. So if you start seeing CF Carping rather than CheshireFisher, you know it's me. Yeah, it's not some random trying to get your attention. It's me. So you'll know, make your own decision what you want to do with that, whether you want to watch me or not. But that's what it's going to be coming up as very shortly. On the same token, the channel's flying, doing so well. I was away in Amsterdam last weekend for VidCon, the Video Creators Convention. I had a phenomenal time, learned so much that I want to put into practice for the channel, so hopefully it'll improve it for all you guys. But the people I spoke to out there were quite impressed with the numbers. So, and it's you guys that are doing that. It's you guys that are viewing the channel, viewing the vlogs, subscribing and such like. So thank you very much for that. It was nice for people to be able to compliment the channel. Yes, Steve. Unfortunately, mate, your seizure was rather more recent. Yeah, so to get the compliments because of your support was phenomenal. So thank you very much for that, folks. And on that token, if you haven't, from the names I've seen pop up, I think you probably already have, but if you haven't subscribed, please do so. And once you hit the subscribe button, hit that little bell icon as well for the notifications. We're up to about 221 last time I looked, which is phenomenal. I need to push it on to about 1,000. That's my first target, 1,000 subscribers for this year. I'm sure you're not interested, but I'm going to tell you anyway. We've had so far 1,150 hours of viewing on the channel. So 1,150 hours of solid viewing. Just blown me away. It's 7,500 views in the last 4 weeks alone, which is which is superb. If I'm in a pub, I can't usually get one person to speak to me, let alone get 7,500 to watch me talk, to fundamentally talk to myself. So thanks for all your support, guys. It's fantastic. Right, my next trip down here, I mentioned already, I'm going to be down here on the 18th of April with me dad. I'll certainly be down for 24 to 36 hours. I think he's coming down for 48, so we'll see what we can do, see whether I can swing 48. I don't think I'm going to be down next week. I think I'll probably do film a commercial next week and then come down in a fortnight's time. We'll see what the weather's doing. I'm in the enviable position that I can watch the weather, and if it looks good, like it's going to be nice next Wednesday, I'll fire down here and do a commercial the week afterwards. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm not going to be getting out at all over Easter. We've got rugby on the Friday. I think we're out walking with the family as well. We've got various things planned for the Easter weekend, so it's definitely family time. When I'm able to get away during the week like this, I've got to put aside the long weekends for family for sure. Yeah, I don't think. Fabulous support for me, excellent first live broadcast. As soon as you said that, I've started stumbling over my words, Steve. Thanks for that. I missed the tail end of your message. It'll pop up again shortly, I'm sure. But yeah, I mentioned earlier on it still felt like the middle of winter. Well, we had a couple of nice days during the week. I was really hopeful for this trip. Today we've had torrential rain. We've had a hailstorm like you wouldn't believe. It was, yeah, absolutely drumming down. I was trying to film at the time, couldn't get any footage because the noise on the bivvy was ridiculous. And I think it's supposed to freeze again tonight, overnight tonight. I think we're supposed to be down to 0, down to about -1. We're supposed to have a frost. So I couldn't pick worse days really. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens. I'm still hopeful. We're still getting plenty of knocks and that, but it's going to be a cold one. I'm not making excuses. I just don't know what I'm doing on this lake at the moment. That's why, I guess that's why I'm not catching. But yeah, it's going to be another cold one. I'll be, as soon as I'm finished on here, I'll be jumping into my sleeping bag, putting the tablet on, watching a film or two. But yeah, I'm going to be wrapped up and nice and warm. Which reminds me, actually, my tea's going cold down here. So the Carp Society mugs are spot on. I mean, this I've been on here 20 minutes. I made this 10 minutes beforehand, so I've had it half an hour, and it's still almost burning to drink. So yeah, I can pick them up in the shop. But the weather's been madness. You'll see from the vlogs we've got rainbows, we've got bright sunshine. Take care and tight lines. Thank you very much, Steve. Still a hardcore fisherman, doing everything you can for a bite. View the previous Facebook. There's that Ryan. Sorry, mate, I'm so busy trying to read the message, I didn't catch who it's from. But yeah, I hope that was aimed at me, mate. I'm either a hardcore fisherman or an idiot. Yeah, thank you very much, Ryan. It was just pushing everyone else to view the previous vlogs and Facebook. Yeah, I wish the message. I don't know. I've got this. Must have the settings wrong. The messages aren't staying up for very long. Yeah, down to 0 tonight, Dad. Thanks for that. Yeah, Ryan. Good point, buddy. Cheers. Yeah, I've got CheshireFisher. We've got a page and a profile on Facebook. Please go and visit both of them, like and follow. That'd be superb. If you send me a friend request, I'll accept. Basically, because I'm desperate for friends. The CheshireFisher page will probably be changing to CF Carping along, so it fits nicely with the YouTube channel. CheshireFisher, the profile will probably stay as CheshireFisher, but you'll see that all as it happens. The lake form is another thing I wanted to touch on. It's waking up. It's waking up. There was a guy that, like I mentioned, had 11 fish out either the weekend, last weekend or the weekend before. I can't remember which one it was. There's probably been about 10 to a dozen fish out over the last 40. Well, nothing out over the last 24 hours that I know of. Excuse me, my noodles coming back that I had for tea. But the Monday, the 24 hours that was Monday, there was about 10 to 12 fish come out, up to 27 pounds. I know of at least 2 20-pounders. I don't know all the weights, but yeah, there was a 27 and there was a 21. So the fish are waking up. They are starting to move. I know there's a few came out, 3 or 4 came out of Summer Bay last week as well. So yeah, if you haven't been down, it's nice and queue at the moment. There's not many people about, so it is a good time to get down. Well, it's a time to get down here. If you've got the opportunity, it's a beautiful lake to get down to. So come down and give it a try. And if you come down and I'm here, please come drop in and have a chat. I've had a couple of the guys who've watched the channel bob by today and introduce themselves, so I can put a face to the names from the subscribers. Yeah, it'd be grand to see you. So get yourselves down here. I think my topics are just about drying up, guys. Yeah, very much a little I want to speak about now. So if you've got any questions, please feel free to fire them up, and I'll do my level best to answer them. If I don't know the answer, I'll just blag it and talk crap for 5 minutes, just to fill the time. Probably going to look to put a live stream up whenever I'm fishing. The channel's evening, Alan. How you doing, mate? It's, as I've been saying, but it's the temperature's dropping here, so I'm okay at the moment, but I may be a bit chilly as the evening goes on. Yeah, I'm going to try and put a live stream on. The channel lives and dies by your views. Yeah, 8 watching now, 9 now. I've been up to 11 at one stage, missus. I've been keeping my eye on the stats and the figures. You know what I'm like. Yeah, I'm going to try and put a live feed on whenever I'm fishing. So probably Wednesday night. So I'll stick to 8 o'clock so everyone knows when it's coming. If I'm a bit late, I don't know what's happened. Maybe the bailiffs come around. It's unlikely that I'll be landing a fish, but we'll see how it goes. But yeah, 8 o'clock on a Wednesday. I'll try and get the live feed up. If I'm fishing a commercial that day, yeah, cheers, Dad. I'll come on to that in a second. Yeah, if I'm fishing a commercial and I'm back home by 8 o'clock, I'll do a live stream from home to tell you how things are going. Talk about whatever you want to talk about. If you've got any questions for me at any stage, I'll put a link on Facebook. I put a post on Facebook earlier on in the week. If you've got any questions, just fire them on there and I'll know to come back to them. Any fish, Alan? Have you seen my channel, mate? Nah, this is not so much a carping channel at the moment as a camping channel. I have had several line bites, especially from the left and the middle rods. So I'm hopeful there's fish moving. I'm hopeful there's things about, and I've been told that this time of the year, especially 4 in the morning till about 11 o'clock at the bite time. So I'm going to have to pull away from the lake before that. I'm going to have to leave about 9, but before the end of that. But hopefully the 4 o'clock till 9, I'll be in with a good chance. Fingers crossed, anyway. Yeah, the bit that I said I'd come back to for my dad. Miles from the shop, from the Carp Society. I was talking to him earlier, and he's put the same content in the vlog, in the blog which they put on the website. They're getting a lot of people phoning up the shop and asking how the lake's fishing, and they can't tell them because people are being all secret squirrel about their catches, which I can understand to a degree, but it's not a little syndicate. This is a lake that supports the Carp Society, so they need to know what's coming out. It's a business for them, isn't it? So they need to know what's coming out. I can't really hide. If I was catching, I wouldn't really be able to hide my catches because I put everything I do just about goes onto the blogs, onto the vlogs, onto the live stream, onto the Facebook. So yeah, if and when I ever catch anything, it'll be up there. They'll know about it. But they're asking if anything that is caught from here, you send them photographs, you let them know, and they can keep the place ticking over, keep the day tickets coming in, and yeah, keep the revenue flow going. One thing they were complaining about on both, while I was talking to Miles and also on this site, was that the people that tend to phone up and ask how the lake's fishing are the same people that are keeping their catches quiet. So it's, yeah, I mean, they're shooting themselves in the foot really by keeping their catches quiet. Everyone else is doing the same, and then when they phone up and ask how it's fishing, they've got nothing to tell them because no one's telling them anything. So yeah, if you come down here and fish, you have any joy, let them know in the shop. I mean, Miles is superb. I don't know if you guys have been in and spoken to him. He'll help you as much as he can. Alan, had a walk around the lake similar to Horseshoe, about 5 miles away, clear, shallowish and weedy. The carp seem to be in upper layers, look to be swimming 1 to 2 foot beneath the surface, maybe a zig. Yeah, I'm with you, Alan. Zig fishing, I know people rave about zig fishing, and I'll probably give it a good crack this year while I'm on here, and certainly while I'm fishing the smaller commercials. I've never really had much joy with zigs, but mainly because I only ever used them when on the days when I'm catching absolutely nothing. The days when you're not going to get any fish, or you're very unlikely to. I've chucked a zig out for a couple of hours, and because I've got no confidence in it, it's come back in after them 2 hours and I've gone on to something different. So yeah, I think later on in the year, yeah, certainly a tactic I want to try this year, but I've got no confidence in it at the moment, and my confidence is fairly low anyway from not having a fish for, well, I think it was since about my 25th birthday. That's the way it feels at the moment. So I'm going to stick to what I know for the time being. I know you mentioned, someone mentioned it, was it you, Alan? Mentioned method feeders. and that's something I fished in the past, and I'm confident with them, so I'll probably try them. And zigs I will do later on in the year, but I just don't think I'd stick with the zig if I put it out now, because I'd be fretting that it wasn't going to work, and I'd be pulling it in fairly soon. But thank you very much for the advice, Alan. I will take it up later on in the year. I just don't feel confident. Lost focus for some reason. Yeah, I just don't feel confident enough to leave them out there at the moment, because it's not a tactic I'm confident in. I think I'll try those method feeders. Done well on them on small commercials. Yeah, Ryan, definitely worth a try. I mean, several people have mentioned method feeders to me now. I just wanted to try the choddies, just single hook baits this time, because I've put a bit of bait in the last few times I've been down and had no joy. So I thought I'd give the higher track, the sort of curiosity bite, a try. We'll see. I'm feeling a bit left out, actually. Everyone I've come down here with's caught a coot, and I haven't even had a coot out of the place, so I must be doing something wrong. But we'll have a go. As Leon Bartrop will call them, the black chickens. So we'll see what what happens with them black chickens. I'm not quite sure what you're laughing at there, mate. Maybe it's just my blurry face, but thanks for the... I'm going to assume you're laughing with me, not laughing at me. Yeah. The coots, yes, yeah. I don't know how I manage it. I've not hooked either of the coots, but I've had to unhook both of them. They seem to come in, and it's me that ends up unhooking the damn things. But yeah, I've never been much good with birds. Yeah, hashtag black chicken, Alan. I'll be putting that up later when I post this. Yeah, I don't know if it was coined by Leon Bartrop, but I like to watch his channel, and yeah, that's what he refers to them as, black chickens. I wish they did something useful like chickens do. Unfortunately, they don't. They're just a pain in the hoop, aren't they? Up to the dizzying heights of 13 viewers now. Thanks, guys. It's appreciated, all the support. Like I was saying earlier, we've got about 200 subscribers now. We're getting several thousand, about 2,000 views per vlog that's going out, so it's nice to see I've got your support on the live stream as well. I was a bit concerned I was going to be sat here talking to myself. Well, I am sat here talking to myself, I suppose, but at least there's people watching me doing it. I was concerned I was going to be sat here for 10 minutes, 20 minutes or whatever with no viewers, or even worse, me wife and me parents. I appreciate them watching, but it would be a bit of a sympathy vote if they were the only people doing so. So it's nice to see we've got a few others. I'll have to have a look at the way the live streaming works, because I'm not quite sure. I can't see who's talking. So if you're on here, please just drop me a line, just drop me a comment, let me know you're here if you haven't done so already, so I know who's about. I can see in the top left here what numbers I've got and how many likes I've had, and then the time, but I can't see who's here. So yeah, like I say, if you've popped in, just drop me a comment and let me know you're here. If you've got any questions, please ask away, because otherwise it's just going to be a live stream of me sat here drinking tea and not saying anything. Yeah, so definitely try the method. I'll definitely give zigs a try later on in the year. I saw Alan Blair's put a video up, it's either on Facebook or YouTube, in relation to I think it was actually his Insta feed. Bear with me. I'm following as I'm planning a year's fishing horseshoe next year, maybe a session this year in September, October. Alan, if you want to come on, mate, when I'm here, I'm more than happy to fish with people. Hopefully by then I'll have something to tell you. I'll have a bit more experience. But yeah, if you're on September, October, let us know when you come in, and I'll drop on with you. I mentioned earlier on I'm going to be fishing a week over in France in October now, so hopefully it won't clash with that, but we'll see. But yeah, if you haven't already done so, Alan, I think you probably have, but subscribe and hit notify, and you'll see when all my videos come up. And yeah, hopefully I'll be able to keep you informed. If nothing else, I'll be able to show you videos of the swims, so you know what's where, and I'll be able to tell you what's out in front of you. So you'll have a vague idea of what you're fishing to, even if you don't know what the fish are like, because you haven't seen me catch any. But on that point, I had a gent, Chris, come around earlier on, and he's it's always a concern. There's always a pressure doing this. The more videos I get without any vlogs I get without any fish, the more pressure there is for me to catch. And I'm worried about, there's always the temptation to stop vlogging until I start catching. Let me know what you think, guys. But Chris, when he came round, said that it was almost nice to watch this style of video, because 95% of the people that go out there blank as much as they catch. You watch the branded, the named anglers coming out chucking 30 kilos in, catching every single time. It's a false picture. It's not what happens normally. So he said it's nice to see this vlog, because it's in the style of what the vast majority of anglers are able to do. Obviously people are going to dwindle over time, subscribers will dwindle over time if I'm never catching. Oh, brilliant. So my mum's not bothered watching anymore. Thank you very much, Mother. I don't know why I bother. But yeah, if you like the style of the channel, please let me know. Fishing's 99%. Thank you, Ian. Good to know you're watching. I take it you mean the bee in here is 99% of it, and the catching is 1%. If you mean something different, please let me know. I don't want to misinterpret your message. As my father said repeatedly while he was teaching me how to fish, so this is his fault, me not catching, I hasten to add, but when he was teaching me, the fishing this time, the term has become an ongoing joke between us because it was used so much, but fishing at this time of the year is, the catching at this time of the year is a bonus. Sponsored anglers go to the venues when they're fishing well on inside info and unlimited bait supply, it seems. Alan, totally, mate, yeah. I can't bitch and moan about bait supply at the moment, because I provide particles for RW Carp bait, and he's providing my boilies, so I'm not having to pay a great deal for my bait, so I can't complain about putting it in. And I know that's a major expense. It's so expensive, but yeah, they turn up, rucks of rods, swims that have been rested, and cheers, Ian, I'll come back to that in a second. Yeah, they're put on the fish. The fisheries want them to be landing a ruck of fish for the cameras to make the fishery look good. So yeah, the bait companies and such, like the tackle companies, have the best situation. Ian just put up, I don't know if you guys can see the comments as they're coming up, but 99.9% blanking. Yeah, I mean, for every 1,000 minutes fishing you do, if you're lucky enough to get 1 minute of that actually landing a fish, and then happy days, it's all going well. I was distracted halfway through going through what me and my father used to say, but he'd say that every fish at this time of the year is a bonus. He also used to tell me that it wasn't so much about catching fish, it was about going out and being outside. It was about getting away from the rat race, getting away from the stresses of work, from the stresses of everyday life, and getting out on the bank and just enjoying your surroundings. He's keen bird watcher. He likes his flora and fauna, keen on the identifying species of fish, of native mammals, of like I say, the birds, plant life, and that's all been passed on to me. I'm nowhere near as good at identifying these things as he is, but I've got an interest, and I've got a reasonable knowledge. I've noticed so many times. I do another channel called Trail Trials, a walking channel. I've been out walking with people, and there's birds flying overhead, and they've got no idea what they are. They often don't even see them, never look up. We've been walking at night, and there's eyes looking at us out the hedges, but they're not noticing them. And it's just that opening your eyes and paying attention to what's going on around you that it makes it for me. It really does. The nature that surrounds me, yeah, it just makes the fishing for me. Catching a fish is the buzz. It's one of the ultimate highs, isn't it? But to be able to appreciate what's going on around you, appreciate the wildlife, and I try and get that across on the vlogs, that just makes the rest of the time sat on the bank so much more enjoyable. I hope you guys agree. And going back to the original point, I hope you can accept that I'm not always going to have fish. I'm not always going to be landing 20s and 30s. I'm not always going to be emptying the lake. And I'm not coming on here to try and tell you what to do or profess to be an expert angler or even a good angler. I enjoy watching people going fishing on the vlogs on here. So and I enjoy trying to glean little bits of information from them. I can take or leave whatever they tell me, but I like to think I come away from the vlogs having taken a few little gems. So hopefully you can do the same from this. Okay folks, I feel like I'm beginning to waffle a bit, so if anyone's got any questions, put them up now. I'll hold fire for the next couple of minutes. There's a couple of tactics I want to try and I want to speak to you about, but if we don't get any more questions in the next couple of minutes, I'll start to wrap this up. It's been nearly 40, well, just over 40 minutes now, so 40 minutes of me talking to anyone is more than enough for them. I'm sure the people that were here 40 minutes ago are fast asleep. I've bored them to death by now, I'm sure, but we'll see. But like I say, if you've got any more questions, chuck them up, guys, and I'll endeavour to answer them. I mentioned about nice lake, mate, Tudor. Nice lake. I fished it back in the day. Used to fish better from mid-April, like most water park waters. Go steady on bait, small bags. Saying that, I won't catch any from my sofa. No, you definitely won't catch any in front of the telly, mate. You've got to be in it to win it. And yeah, small bags. I'm not saying they won't work by all means, but I started off on small bags, and I intend to use solid bags a fair bit later on in the year because of the weed. I think small bags less likely to punch through the weed, or certainly less likely to punch as far through the weed as just a lead in your rig. So yeah, that's what I'll be doing this time of the year. Putting too much bait in is obviously not going to be the way forward, I don't think. But when it starts to warm up, people profess that spotting out a lot of bait, if you're here for some time, can get you on the fish and can hold them in the swim. So I'll try a bit of both and see what works for me. Bear with me, I'm trying to get the comments back up. Mid-April, yeah, hopefully they'll start to switch on. I mean, it's been a long winter, so it might take them a little bit longer. They have started to feed. There's a few coming out, so hopefully it'll kick on from now and we'll get a few positives. Sorry. Tight lines for tonight, Jay. Thank you very much, Dad. It's a cold one, so it'll be door down and wrapped up in the sleeping bag, but I'm hoping for one of them to go screaming off. We'll see whether that happens. And hi, pal, Nathan Leake, carp fishing. No luck so far, mate. But there's more stuff moving. Well, I've not seen anything topping, but I've had a few line bites, I've had a few bleeps, a few twitches. So I'm hoping there's fish moving about. There's a lot of pike in here. There's a lot of fish in here. It's a beautiful lake. The ecosystem's just crammed full of fish. So yeah, there's a few pike moving about. So whether it's them catching the lines, I know someone mentioned last week about the pike in their lake spawning. Now, whether that's the case on here, I don't know, but there's plenty of pike movement at the moment. So it could be them catching the lines. It could just be line bites from anything, really. I don't know exactly what weed beds I'm going over, so there could be loops in the line. I've got captive back leads here, and I've got flying back leads out in the lake. So hopefully I'm hugging whatever contours there are as best I can. But you never know, I could be looped up over a weed bed and the fish are catching the line as they're going through that. Other tactic I want to try later on is maggots. I quite enjoy maggot fishing, but I don't tend to do it because there's the logistics of getting them and keeping them fresh before you come away. But yeah, certainly want to have a look at that later on in the year. Nathan Lee came out for 24 hours on Friday. First time my rods will be getting wet for 2018. Nathan, fantastic news, mate. I've been ridiculous enough to be out here since January. I think if you watch my first horseshoe carping vlog, I slept out under the stars. My bed froze overnight. As Alan mentioned earlier on, you won't catch that in front of the TV. I've not got much of a chance necessarily at this time of the year, but I've certainly got a better chance than if I'm sat in front of the TV. But Nathan, great to know you're getting out on Friday. Are you doing a 48, mate, or is it just a quick 24? Or are you lucky enough to be out for even longer? I'll be back out next Wednesday with a bit of luck. Ryan, the current when we fished it, Jason, was strange, mate. Any further advice on that from anglers or bailiffs? Yeah, I spoke to Chris earlier on, and he said the current, he's a slackline angler most of the time. He likes I'll get back to that in a minute, Dad. He likes to fish slack lines when he can, but when he's on here and there's any sort of wind blowing, it's heavy leads, 3 or 4 ounce leads, and just bowstring tight, because, bear with me, for whatever reason, I don't know if you saw that, but the screen started to fade. Yeah, bowstring type, because he said if there's any bow in the line whatsoever, the current will get it and it'll just drag your leads away from your baited area. So yeah, heavy leads and bowstring when there's any sort of wind. I think it's probably going to be more so in Summer Bay, which is off to my left at the moment, than in Winter Bay off to the right, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, it's definitely going to be heavier leads, I think. There was more comments there, bear with me. Tried to kill his old man by freezing. Right, I'm not taking the blame for that. You're old, it wasn't me trying to kill you, that was just nature taking its course. Just at 24-hour and a social in May for the full weekend. Nathan, superb, mate. 24 hours, superb. It's nice to be getting out, nice to be doing a night, and then the social in May. Yeah, I like the odd social. You can't go wrong with them, can you? Get a few lads together on the bank that you haven't seen for a while. A couple of beers, as long as obviously you keep it sensible. We've seen too many people who are alarms are screaming, they're comatose on their bed chair with a bivvy zipped up and cans of Stella all over the bank. I'm sure that's not going to be the case for you, mate. But yeah, a couple of scoops and a laugh and a joke with your mates is a great way to accompany the carp fishing. Oh, sorry. There was another comment, bear with me. Tight lines, mate. Hope the hard work starts to pay off. Enjoying your blogs from a down-to-earth angler. Thank you very much, Tudor. It's nice to hear that. It really is. Yeah, makes it all worthwhile when people are enjoying it. So thank you again. And Nathan, I'll be doing a vlog with my 24-hour this weekend. Do me a favour, mate. Drop a link to your channel in another comment, and I'll look back through this later on, and I'll go and have a look at your channel. Hang on, Nathan, you're not Nate who did the 3 from last year, are you? Because if you are, you're one of the inspirations to come down here and fish this year. If you enjoy my channels, guys, there's a guy, Nate, who, if you search Horseshoe Lake on YouTube, you'll see there's 3 videos on here, 3 vlogs on here from a guy called Nate from last year. The first 2 are good. The third one is just awesome. He had some phenomenal fish. I'll be impressed if that is the same guy. His fishing on here was superb. Yeah, he was one of, like I say, he was the same guy who was one of my inspirations to fish here this year, because the fish that he landed were not just big but beautiful, really nice, big scaly fish. So yeah, Nate, if that, Nathan, either way, mate. No, oh, I suppose that's a bonus, bud. He said, no, not me. Wish I was, pal. I guess it's a bonus because we've still got Nate's vlogs, and I've got another channel to have a look at when I get home now as well. So yeah, drop me a link in the comments, mate. Subscribe if you haven't already, yeah, either drop it in a link in the comments or get onto me CheshireFisher page and stick it on there. But no problem with that at all. Might get you a bit more exposure then. I don't know what size your channel is or whatever, but exposure's always good. Yeah, so maggots. I like fishing particles. I like fishing boilie, and I like fishing. Yeah, they are, Alan. I watched some great vlogs. I assume you're referring to Nate's. They are very, very good. If you're looking at coming on here, anyone, well worth looking at them vlogs, because they'll give you some good pointers. Like fishing, I like fishing particles. Like fishing boilies. I like fishing maggots when I've done them, and I think I'll be looking at fishing them in the summer, to almost mimic naturals, I guess. But yeah, put them over the top of my particles. The bird life on here is horrendous. The coots, the seagulls, the tufties, the swans, the geese, everything seems to be going for the angler's bait, and I suppose it makes sense. It's an easy food source for them. But I get a feeling if you're on Summer Bay and you put a big bed of boilies out, you're just going to get the birds descending on you and just wipe you out. Whereas with the particles and the maggots, there's always going to be something there. They're not going to strip out all the hemp and such like, are they? Okay guys, that's nearly 50 minutes now. If you've got any questions, I'll hang about for another couple of minutes just to see what pops up. But if there's no more questions forthcoming, my light seems to be going mental at the moment as well. If there's no more questions forthcoming, I'll start to wrap it up. Fantastic support, folks. Thank you very much, as always. I'll keep working as hard as I can to get these vlogs out. I've got some new camera equipment. I've got the editing software, and I'm learning as I go, so hopefully the vlogs will continue to improve, and I'll do what I can to make them as enjoyable for you as they are for me making them, and we'll get out and about and see what we can do. Alan, hope you catch, mate. Tight lines, keep the vlogs and feeds going. I certainly will do, mate. I enjoy it. Like I say, I thoroughly enjoy doing them. The fact that people are watching them, enjoying them, makes it all the more worthwhile. So thank you for joining in this evening, Alan. Tight lines when you get out there, mate. If you're here September, October, please give me a shout. Give me a shout in advance, and we'll see if we can get something sorted out. But yeah, tight lines wherever you're fishing and whenever you're fishing. Nathan Leake Carp Fishing, tight lines, mate, and we'll try and send you a message. Yeah, please do. Either through Facebook or here, or Instagram or Twitter. I don't mind. I'm on all of them at CheshireFisher on Instagram and Twitter. I don't know what I'm going to do with them yet. Whether I can rename them or not, I don't know. They may become CF Carp Fishing, but I don't know. I'm not very up with Instagram or Twitter, but I'll certainly have a look at them. Yeah. So then sources, you got the profile, the page on Facebook, where it's just CheshireFisher, at CheshireFisher on Instagram and Twitter, and obviously CheshireFisher on YouTube. Please feel free to add them all. And once again, because the subscriptions are my lifeblood on here, if you haven't already done so, hit subscribe, hit notify, but I'm sure you guys all have. I mean, I'd be highly surprised if you haven't done so already. Right guys, we're pushing towards 52 minutes now. I've talked for far too long. I really need to leave you to get on with your evening. Thank you very much for all your interaction, all your views. Sorry Ryan, you're looking for another plug, mate. Have I not said RW Carp Baits often enough? Okay, I'm on mulberry squid pop-ups. I've also got some pineapple pop-ups from RW Carp Baits. Ryan, post a link to your Facebook page on here before everyone disappears, so you can see it. I mean, I plug them all the time. I've got the shirt which I wear a lot, which is I've got RW Carp Baits on, mainly because Ryan's a mate of mine and his business is growing nicely, so we're pushing it as much as possible for him. Also because they're bloody good baits, of course. But hey. Yeah, so get Ryan, post a link, guys. Get on, have a look at it, and I think you'll find the prices particularly competitive. And if you want particles, the particles are sublime. They're absolutely second to none. I know this because I cook them myself. Hopefully you'll agree, but I like the particle mixes. I've put them together myself, and they're exactly the way I like them. So yeah, once again, I'll wrap up. Thanks again, guys. It's really been appreciated. Subscribe, hit notify, get out on the bank, enjoy your time out there, and until next time, tight lines. Any questions, anything else from this point on, please drop them into Facebook, comment on any of my vlogs, and I'll get back to you. But as far as this live stream's concerned, my feet are freezing, my tea's gone cold, I'm going to have to move on. So tight lines, and catch you again soon.